Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. Today we're going to paint some dragonflies. And what we're going to do first of all is paint a background, and we're going to put into the background some shiny stuff so that the wings of the dragonfly are all kind of iridescent. These are iridescent watercolor paints handmade by a lady in England called Meeden. MAB Watercolors is the name of her Etsy shop, and I'll put a link in the description below, and you can pop over there if you want to purchase some of her paints. They are rather special. So let's first of all start off by making a background, and I'm going to use which paints shall I use? Shall I use these ones here since they're handy? Why not? We're going to start off by just dropping in some nice colours and just swooshing it around a little bit. Don't worry too much about what it looks like. It doesn't really matter. If you add brown to a strong blue like that, you get a nice grey, as you can see, and that's quite a nice thing to have in the background. And if you use decent cotton paper, you won't have a problem if you sort of smush it around like this and give it a little bit of encouragement when it goes a bit wonky. Doesn't matter. And so let's have a bit of ultramarine blue down here as well. We have put a bit of ultramarine up there too. And ultramarine, I haven't got ultramarine in this set, so we'll just add that from another palette that I've got handy. And then we do want this to be sort of greenish down here, so that's why. Basically, that blue and that brown acts like blue and yellow to give you a soft greyish green. So we don't really care what this looks like, as long as we don't spend too long over it. Right, so we do that, and that's the background. So we've got sunshine, and then some trees, and then down here a background for our reeds or whatever we're going to put in the background. So you can go away for a second. I'll finish with you for now. Probably want you in a minute. And then I'm going to pick up some of this shiny stuff, and I'm just going to sort of drop it in a dragonfly kind of way. All right, so the wings of the dragonfly are obviously two on each side and just coming out like that. And then we'll just put a bit down the middle for the body, something like that. It's just a slightly curved line like that. And then that's all we need with the iridescent, although you could pick up a bit of it and do a bit of spatter, but perhaps we'd do that at the end. Then we'll put him out of the way for the minute. And I'm going to get my hairdryer and dry it. Okie dokie. So having done that, then now what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to paint the wings in paint, and then I'm going to come on top of that with some, I might use brown and I might use a very fine black to do the outlines of the wings. And I'm just a little bit puzzled about the colours here. I'm going to switch to my older set. This is the spring set, which I don't think is quite right for what I want here. So let's do this. And I'm just going to mix and match my colours, coming in really lightly, just with so something like that. And this one we'll do in a bit more of a blue. And then maybe, these spring colours are very strong. And maybe a bit of brown. And a bit of brown on this one too. And then perhaps going into beige. You can always add colour if you want to at a later date, but we're going to do the body in a minute. And then the one underneath we're going to do in sort of a little bit of green at the end here. Not worrying too much about the shape, because we can straighten that out when we do the line work, right? But what main thing is that you keep changing the colour. You don't want the colour to be set in stone, so just keep changing the colour. Okay, so then we're going to dry that in a second. I think I might actually now bring in a little bit of grass. So some soft green. You can see what colours I'm using. So we'll just put in some nice, and change the colour. Don't forget, change the colour. Keep changing the colour. And perhaps we want a bit more texture down here, perhaps. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now to dry and come back with a pen and do some line work, draw in the bodies and then the wings, and then put some colour into the bodies. Okay, so that's dry, and now we're going to draw in the body of the dragonfly. And so it doesn't have to be super detailed, but basically what we have is two large objects that look like eyes on the sides, one on each side, and then something in the middle. So we just do sort of like outline, and then there's a kind of body section like that, and then basically segments all the way down, getting gradually smaller. So it's going to end up about here. And so we could just give ourselves a little bit of a guide like that, and then come down throughout there. And so we've got a little bit of sparkle all the way down. And we're not worried too much about detail, but we're going to come up here. And the shape of the dragonfly wing is a little bit special. It kind of has a curve going up like that, and then it goes up and away like that, and then comes down a bit thinner. And then the one underneath tends to overlap and is a little bit straighter perhaps, and then comes down here and then round with the curve at the end there. And then you're going to have, it has sort of a certain amount of vertical lines along there, and then the veins. And you don't want to draw in all the veins by any means, just a few. And this one is the same, obviously. But you don't need to do much work to give the indication that you're looking for, just sketchy. Keep it really sketchy. And I'm going to add a little bit more colour on that one in a minute. And some more colour in the middle. So we're going to use a kind of purple. Greyed down purple. So add some green. And then we'll just drop that in. Darker on one side than on the other. So we come down like that. And then wipe off your brush and then do the other side a little bit lighter. Just keep it broken like that. And then we might want to just darken this line here a bit. And looking for some brown. And maybe some orange. And maybe a tiny dash of red in there. Pink. Okay, don't want to play about with that too much. Whoops, oh dear. Don't want to drop my brush on the painting, do I? Okay, so we'll leave that like that. And then we'll come down here and do the next one. The second one. So he's got his eyes up here. And then some kind of segmented thing. And this is where he's coming down to, down here. So we're going to, again, starting with bigger segments or whatever they are, and then make them smaller and less noticeable as you go down. Narrower as well. And then, so up and over, and then up. Your drawing lines don't need to match the colour, because, you know, these things are very mobile and iridescent, so you don't need to worry too much about matching where you've put the colour. That's the whole beauty of this. So we do this one like that. The colour is elsewhere to give the idea of movement. So we just take this up here and round it. I think one of the important things is to remember that the wings are sort of rounded at the end. And the sparkle really adds a lot to this. And you can do your little vertical lines at the top there if you feel you want a bit of detail. I think both wings have that. Okay, and so I'm not going to do too much because I think it spoils it. Then this one, let's do this one a little bit on the green side. So again, a greyed down green. We had greyed down purple before, so let's do green. And then we can add a bit more shadow to the wings. Just keep it really light. And now I'm going to pick up my bigger brush and do a bit more work with the reeds, leaves or reeds or whatever you want to call them. So I need a little bit more green. And let's just go over just a few, take it up here. I strongly suggest you don't get too carried away when you're doing this, because you don't want the whole thing to be covered with reeds. Just a hint, just a smidgen. Now, I didn't use any pencil to do this. I just did it with a brush and with the pen. So there we are. There are our dragonflies, and I don't know if you can see that iridescence there. Yes, I think you probably can. I think probably I would quite like to put a little bit of spatter up here. And a bit down here. There we are. That's better. So there we are, the dragonflies for today. So let's hope that you enjoy doing that. Nice to have this light here behind the wings, isn't it? And as I said, I'll put the information about those iridescent paints in the description below on the video. So I'll say bye-bye for now, everybody, and I'll see you again soon with something else. So bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.